everybody. It's been quite a long time since I've done a video, so I thought I'd touch base. I've been pretty overwhelmed with working remotely and all the things that come along with that. You know, you would think you'd be working less before all this happened and before we got into this period of quarantine and working remotely from home, and it seems the opposite is quite true, which is a real silver lining and a good thing for folks at my company anyway. I think we're accomplishing a lot more as a business. We're working a lot more effectively, and we're certainly learning to communicate a lot better through various strings of communication, whether it's online conference rooms or chat boards or instant messaging. Everybody seems to be more freely available, so we get a lot more done. So kind of what brought about the idea to do a video was I haven't reviewed any subscription boxes in quite some time. I canceled most of my subscriptions, but I was kind of interested in the latest Battlebox subscription, which I have reviewed before. The latest one is Mission 63, and I just got the box, so I thought I would do a review of Battlebox 63. This is the Pro Plus offering, which goes for about 130 bucks. As I've talked about before, there's several tiers of the box. The Pro Plus was the highest offering until not that long ago. They offered a black box, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $600. It's super cool. There's like 5 premium items. The box is valued at over $1,000, but really, yeah, that seemed a little ridiculous, quite frankly. But the Pro Plus continues to be a pretty strong offering from Battlebox. Again, they have a basic offering, an advanced, a pro, and then the Pro Plus. So the way their structure works, again, is if you order or subscribe rather to the advanced offering upwards, then you get everything in the tier below it as well as what it offers. So at the Pro Plus level, you're getting the basic, advanced, pro, and then a special item for having gotten the Pro Plus box. So let's get into this. The first item is the Pitbull Tactical Universal Mag Carrier with an MSRP of $24. So essentially what this is a magazine carrier for everyday carry. Looks like it will work in or outside of the waistband, which is nice, depending on how you like to carry. I'm kind of preferable to in the waistband, even if I'm not wearing a cover and I'm essentially open carrying. What's nice about this is it's flexible, kind of like my wallet is. I went to a minimalist wallet a few months ago that I just stuff a bunch of credit cards in, since I'm not really a big cash carrier. This works on the same premise. As you can see, it's pretty much too narrow to accommodate much of anything that's not a single stack magazine, but it's a pretty universal fit. This looks like, on first glance, I could put a double stack 45 through 57 SIG, maybe even a 10 millimeter in this, although the 10 millimeter would be rather tall. Since I have the Glock 40 and it's rather large, I don't know that I'd trust it in that. But this looks rather comfortable. I like the rubber that's cinching it together around the outsides. That in the inside the waistband, the clip would be out, the side would be in against your skin. That's nice and soft, rubbery kind of silicone material. So, and it looks like it's got a decent clip for up to a 2-inch belt. So pretty happy with that. Definitely give that a try. I've been preferential to Blackpoint Tactical, as they make similar products like that, but they'll also make custom fit holsters. Last year when we went out west, just to be out in the wild with in bear country. I felt more comfortable after reading a lot of reviews from folks who are guides out there and travel into bear country a lot. And if you're going to carry a handgun, really the only kind to carry is a 10mm. At the time, I didn't have a good 10mm holster. Definitely not one that I could conceal, and I never really envisioned concealing a Glock 40 long slide, which is a fairly large handgun, until I got this Blackpoint tactical holster. Kydex got a nice bend to it, so it kind of conforms to my right hip very well. The material has no pinch points, and it's very comfortable. This is actually an outside of the waistband configuration, but these buckle slides come off, and I could put clips on the outside to make it in the waistband. But out of the waistband, this was fantastic. They make a lot of good stuff. I have their separate kind of universal mag holder, although it was made for a Glock 40. I can put pretty much any Glock magazine in it. So the second item in the basic Battlebox offering for Mission 63 is the Breakthrough Clean Battleborn HP Pro Lubricant and Protectant. I've been pretty fond of Lucas exclusively. Just use their whole line of gun cleaning products. But this looks like it's worth a try. Definitely like the kind of needlepoint tip to it. It's easy to get in the nooks and crannies, and oil all the specified points on your Glock when you're servicing it. So I was running low on gun oil. Haven't ordered any in a while. Haven't honestly been shooting for a bit since all this happened. I'd be out shooting this time of year now on a more regular basis if I wasn't stuck at home in quarantine. But Breakthrough Cleaning Technologies has a temperature range of -65 to plus 507, a viscosity of 25 SAE grade weight. It is 100% synthetic. Pretty much speaks to itself as far as a gun lubricant. Probably don't need to go into excessive detail there. Next item is fairly unique, still in the basic offering. A 1 pound propane bottle refill adapter. I've heard of these, never really been inclined to go out and get one, but that's how a lot of things in the Battlebox box end up working. They're pretty unique, interesting products that you may not have thought to procure before, but once it's handed to you, you can simply find a quick use for it. So something like this, I use 1 pound bottles quite a bit camping, and having the ability to refill those and not have to go buy them all the time is kind of nice. I usually have 2 large 20-pound cylinders sitting around for the grill, so usually when I top those big boys off, I've got one sitting in reserve for a good portion of the summer, and I could actually be using that now to refill my smaller bottles. So the instructions are fairly simple. Obviously, use fire safety precautions, don't do anything dumb while you're doing this, stay away from open flame, use eye and hand protection, and be forewarned of the potential for a frostbite burn. Basically, you're simply connecting this to the end of your 20-pound hose, connecting your 1 pound bottle, carefully turning the tank and attached cylinder upside down, slowly opening the source tank for 1 minute, then carefully turning the tank and attached cylinder back upright, and then disconnecting the small cylinder first. So there's no gauge in that idea. It seems that it would stop filling once the 1 pound bottle goes to capacity. I'm certainly going to read a little bit more about this before I use it. No point in getting into further detail. You get the idea. And then the last item at the basic level is cat tongue grips, non-abrasive grip tape. The idea is you could put this on a number of tools. You could probably put it on the pistol grip of a handgun, maybe, you know, a junk gun that you leave in the car or something like that, but most of mine I'd be more prone to going with like a Talon grips for, but definitely a hatchet or tomahawk handle. This has a great texture and feel to it, kind of a grid-like pattern. I'm not sure how well you can, there you go. You can kind of get an idea there. It's a very, very soft, good feeling against your fingertips, and seems like it would be much easier to hold on to something in the rain or if it got wet. So interesting. Maybe a hammer handle. If you're outside working and your hand is sweaty, it would definitely stay in your hand better, reduce friction, probably alleviate the acquisition of blisters. So that is the basic offering. Next we go to the advanced offering, claiming to be a $97 value. This is and that would be with this next item and everything I've shown you so far. So next we have the Plano Tactical Pistol Case. Quite honestly, I'm a big fan of Pelican Case. For years I've used a lot of their boxes, just tight, waterproof seal. This could land in the water, would float. I'm not worried about any moisture getting inside of it. Not really the premise behind this box here. Wouldn't trust it like I trust the Pelican box. It's definitely not waterproofed or sealed, but it does have lock holes, so this would be a good travel box by itself. Let me get this out of here. So just plain simple black box, but it looks like it would take a hell of a beating. If you were traveling with this and using this as a separate flight case, this is typically, if I'm flying, I'm using a smaller box like that blue box, or the original, as I've talked about in other videos, the box Glocks come in. If you take the lock that usually comes free, the pistol lock that would go through the pistol itself, and wrap it around this handle, and secure it with the lock, that is good enough for TSA. I think I've mentioned that before. That's how I've been flying a lot lately. But Glock also makes that exact OEM box with a lock hole on it, similar to this. I'm preferential to something that's much smaller profile, just going inside of my regular suitcase. It's not that I'm worried about losing the pistol, but it's obviously then inside another layer of protection, and just less likely to me to get lost. I usually fly with colorful suitcases, so they kind of stand out more. But if you were gonna give your handgun or two, this could definitely hold 2 full-size pistols. If you wanted to give them their own container, this would be more than sufficient. Once you open this puppy up, you've got a nice deep layer of foam padding inside. Doesn't need to be cut or custom fit. You could drop 2 pistols in here comfortably, your magazines, and obviously emptied, and your ammunition boxes, and zip this puppy up, put a padlock or 2, or zip tie these. If it was flying as a separate exclusive container for your firearm, you can put locking non-TSA padlocks on this. And I would feel confident around the idea of baggage handlers tossing this around the airport ramp, falling off the baggage belt, getting heaved into the airplane and smacking against the wall. Not really worried about what's going to happen to any of the contents with this case. It is a thinner plastic surface, and it's not a hardened, dense plastic like a Pelican box. So if this were to be repeatedly beat on, I don't think it would hold up to the test of time, but it would certainly get you through, depending on how frequently you fly and how frequently you're going to deploy that and have it thrown around. It'd last you a good bit of time. So that is the advanced level. Next we go to the pro level. The following contents included with everything I've shown you so far: a $164 value. The next item is a hybrid hex Bluetooth speaker charger, lantern, flashlight, FM radio. So we've all seen these kind of products before, maybe not in this cool of a package. It has quite a bit to it for all these offerings in one device. I have at least 2 of these kind of ideas. I have, you know, several standalone travel chargers, you know, similar to this guy here. We all have these, especially when we're traveling a lot or camping. But to take that idea, give it a light, I also have one of those, but then give it a Bluetooth speaker and an FM radio and a micro SD card reader. That's pretty cool to have all of that in one device. Obviously, before I really vet it, I would have to understand the duration of the battery and what it's going to hold up to for my uses. This would be more of a camping item, but I'm usually camping at a minimum for an entire weekend with scouts. So if I could get through what I needed accomplished, having a night light, recharging my phone, things like that for a weekend, and I might only charge my phone once, maybe twice over the course of a weekend, so I'm not going crazy and expecting the impossible from a unit like this, but yeah, we'll see how it holds up, and maybe I'll report back on that idea later. Let's see. So that was up to the pro level. The last item, Battlebox is usually pretty good about giving you something neat as the Pro Plus offering. This is a custom Williamson Tactical Red E Axis Lock Folding Knife, valued at $85. So this would put the total value of the box that I paid about $150 for at $249. Any everyday carry knife for me has got to have a pocket clip, so we've got that. Got a nice blade angle on this. This would be relatively easy to sharpen. You know, some knives with serrations or odd or longer shapes could be just a little more time consuming to sharpen. This one looks like it would get the job done. It looks very sharp at first glance right out of the box. It's got a lock to keep it locked. Or no, it does not have a lock, just this spring release button on the side. So do I think I got my money's worth? Yeah. You know, you don't ever know what you're going to get in these boxes. I've never been so disappointed that I wish I could return it. If I don't fully have a use for an item in my box, I've got 3.5 other campers in the house. When I say half, I mean my littlest one. Obviously, she's not having big use for tools at the near age of 2, but she is along for the ride with us in a lot of our adventures, and one day she'll be in need of some of these tools. If Dad keeps subscribing to these battle boxes, I'll have a bunch in reserve for her use later. But that was mission 63. So probably owe you a bit of an explanation about our lack of adventuring. Obviously, with travel restrictions up in place till the end point of this week, that kind of speaks for itself. But we're going to be getting back to national parks as a family very soon, so look forward to that. We're planning on heading out west again this year, maybe more than once. We'll have to see what the schedule brings, but looking to see some familiar things and that I've seen on my own, and then my youngest daughter and my wife Caitlin will be joining me on these adventures, and most all of those places will be new for them. So our first trip is going to be visiting family in South Carolina. So this will be the first time that I've flown since shortly before COVID-19 became declared a pandemic. I had actually flown twice out to the West Coast and down to Texas right as this was starting to be reported and talked about and made a big deal of. I had seen masks in the airport. Obviously there was no requirement. Nobody was really taking the disease seriously yet in the social media world or the news. There was just kind of some of those early propositions that it could be a concerning thing. So I did get a little bit of a feel for what that might bring when I was traveling, and probably when I returned to Texas was a matter of days before we went out of the office and everyone started working remote. So we will be flying for the first time the end of this month, and if I can, if it isn't too awkward, I might try to film a little bit in the airport and give people an idea of what it's like flying early into the reopening of the world. We're going to be as safe and cautious as we can. We've got masks with filters that we'll be wearing on these trips. And I guess our biggest concern is having a child under 2. Obviously that child is not going to be a huge fan of mom and dad wearing a mask. We've kind of tested that idea in the house just to see her reaction. She kind of screamed bloody murder. So I'm really looking forward to spending 4 hours on an airplane listening to that. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll get her comfortable with the idea and see how comfortable we can get her to where maybe it'll be a little bit expected when we put those masks on and we don't totally freak her out when we're actually traveling and drive the entire airplane nuts. But, some might say, wow, that's crazy to travel. We're going to some pretty secluded destinations, so we're definitely trying to majorly distance ourselves once we get to our destination from folks in the general public. Just looking to get outdoors, get some quiet time. In some of these travels, I'll be working remote, so I'm not going to be just having fun all day. It'll be business as usual, remotely online, just in a different area code, and then we'll get some time to ourselves more in the late afternoon and evenings. Fortunately, most of our travels are going to take us west, so I'll be having to get up early to match my work clock, and then at the end of the day it's still going to be in the middle of the day where we're at, and we'll have plenty of daylight to enjoy things. So I'll try to report on that since we're doing it kind of in the early days of that reopening again, and hopefully provide some useful information to those of you out there who are wondering if traveling is a good idea or what it might be like. So again, I hope to make more content, get some more videos up. The only thing I've really been filming has been helping my folks out with their church. Obviously, those of you who engage in church or regular gatherings of any kind, all that's kind of had to been done remotely and keep those communities engaged, and that's what I've tried to help their church with. Just getting services filmed, getting content up that parishioners can digest every week and keep them feeling connected to that community. So that's been really cool. It's a way of kind of giving back, and I've enjoyed doing that, trying to help those folks out and keep them bound as a community until they can all see each other again. So, and I'm sure as things reopen, people aren't going to just run right back into those church gatherings or other community gatherings, that it might be a slow transition. And so while some people may electively distance themselves, then they'll have a way to kind of slowly creep back into the scene and social community if we keep this going for a little while. So we'll see what that brings too. So that's really what I've been up to. Like I said, sorry I haven't had content out there in a while. Please continue to stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please like and subscribe below, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.